Hello there. Welcome to the Joinery Business Podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Poling. In the Joinery Business Podcast, we talk about all kinds of business-related topics for businesses that build kitchen cabinets, joinery, furniture, shop fitting, commercial millwork, any of those types of things. Hopefully, you're one of those types of businesses. And I really welcome you to the podcast. It's one of the things we do. It's what we love doing. I run a business called the Joinery Coach, and in the Joinery Coach, we help businesses that run these types of businesses. We've been doing this for about 20 years now, and our group is only businesses that build that type of product. We don't stray outside of that in any way, shape, or form. And today, we're going to talk about why now more than ever we need you to step up and be the leader that your team needs. Really, really important that the team around you right now gets the leadership that they need, because that's essentially what your business is going to your business is going to require it. You're going to need your leadership in order to get over these challenges that we're facing right now. If you're listening to us right now on our podcast, we really welcome you into the podcast, obviously, and we've got all kinds of tips and tricks that can help you in business. If you're interested in learning more, please jump into our free Facebook group called the Joinery Business Hub. Just request to join, answer a few simple questions, and we'll let you in. There's all kinds of people in there. In fact, we've got over 400 businesses there that, just like you, they're looking for ways to grow their business. And we share all kinds of advice in that group as well. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, I'm actually going to be sharing a little bit of a visual throughout this podcast today so that it can help us communicate a little bit better about leadership and how you can take your team through this crisis that we're currently encountering through the other side and be stronger because of it. So we really need, or I guess not so much we, but you really need to step up and be the leader right now, more than ever in the history potentially of your business, maybe even your life. Now more than ever, it's really important that you step up and lead. And the reason for that is really quite straightforward, but let's dig into it a little bit deeper. You're probably looking for some leadership and some guidance yourself. Right now, there's all kinds of issues out there that everybody is sort of encountering, and it's thrown all kinds of chaos and uncertainty into all our lives. And it's totally understandable that you're looking for some guidance and leadership yourself. And that's okay. It's okay for you to be looking for that guidance also. Everyone is needing some help right now. It's not unusual. So don't feel too bad about the fact that you probably need some help and some guidance as well. I personally have looked for guidance as well. And I think, if you were to talk to a lot of world leaders, some of the people that we sort of admire and look up to, it wouldn't be unusual, I think, to find that they're actually looking for guidance also. They might even be looking for rescuing, and you might even be thinking about rescuing. How am I going to get through this? Who's going to rescue me from this? That's normal sort of human thought processes. But I think that probably more than anything right now, you're looking for a little bit of certainty in what's the future is going to hold. And you might also be looking for a team to help you go into what feels like a battle right now, because it certainly is a lot more difficult than in normal times to gain new work, to get the business functioning like it was prior to the COVID virus hitting us. It is a battle. It feels like we're in a war right now. And when you look for guidance and you look for leadership from people outside of your circle, what you're really looking for is some certainty and some, maybe some people to go into battle with you or for you. That's normal. But the thing that we want to keep everybody's attention on right now, and really clearly focused on what your business needs, because if you focus only on what you need as a person, your business is going to struggle and possibly fail when maybe it doesn't need to do that. We know that things are tough. We know that maybe your financial situation right now is difficult. But if you completely ignore the needs of your team and put your needs above theirs, then there really will be no certainty to your business. So the thing is, your team needs leadership from you. Just like you're looking for leadership, they are also looking for leadership. And let's be really clear, they need you to lead them right now. You have built this business. If you are a business owner right now, and I hopefully you are, hopefully this podcast is designed for business leaders. And if you're a leader of business right now, someone who owns the business and has a team of employees, you have put yourself in a position of leadership. and your team is looking to you to be that leader right now, to lead them through these times that are just terribly uncertain for them. And it's important because they also have their own issues going on, just like you have your issues. And they need to provide certainty to their team. It might be their wife or their kids or their partner or their team or whoever it is. They've got their own things going on that needs certainty as well. And you are actually that person that is in place to provide them with that certainty. So you need to lead so that they can lead. It is a top-down effect here. So it's okay if you go out and get some help and some guidance and some extra skills and knowledge about how to get through this horrible period of time. Everybody's doing that right now, and it's probably very important that you do just that. Go out and get some help. But be really clear that this is not only for you, it's for them also. So there's a couple of questions that we can ask ourselves right now. Where are we? What are we doing? Just ask yourself some really simple questions. Just ask yourself, how are you serving your team right now? I often ask this question of business owners, and I get a kind of a quizzical look, like, me serving my team? They're my employees. They should serve me. That tends to be the typical sort of mindset. But in actual fact, when we find businesses that are doing exceptionally well, they're often businesses that are run by leaders who feel they're in service to their employees. That doesn't mean that your employees run the business or that they make high-level decisions or anything like that. It just means that you've made the you've made the realization that it's going to be your team that makes this business successful. Businesses are not inanimate objects. They're not things that you can touch and feel. They are a team of people. And as the leader of the business and as the owner of the business, it is really your responsibility to serve that team so that the team can make the business successful. So how are you serving that team right now? Are you providing them with some clarity and some certainty and some positivity? Because your team is listening to you right now. Your team is hanging on your direction, what you're doing and where you're going. Your team is all ears and all eyes right now. And you might feel that. You might feel the weight of that. And that shouldn't be something that is crippling to you. It should just be present. You should just know that that's what your team needs. And because your team needs that, we need to respond accordingly, because that is exactly what's going to get your business through these uncertain times. You can do everything. If you feel like you're going to take everything on yourself and put it on your shoulders and go out there, that is the old school definition of leadership, where the old leaders used to say, well, just do what you're told, or lead by example, or watch me and do what I do. Well, leadership now is defined differently. I came up with a different word a few years ago for leadership, which is influenceship, which means great leaders actually influence people around them to do great things. They don't necessarily show them how to do it, although sometimes you do, but essentially you influence them to do great things. That's really what you want your team to do. You want your team to thrive in uncertain times. And great leaders are people who influence your team to do great things. And ultimately, that's what we're looking to do right now, is to have an influence over your team to feel as much calm as they can, as much certainty as they can have. And let's be really, really honest with ourselves. There is never at any point in time certainty about the future. It never existed before this crisis, and it's not going to exist after this crisis. There is no certainty about what's going to happen in the future. But in times of crisis like this, we sort of demand more certainty because we're unsure. Our comfort zone has been ripped up, and we've been kind of put into this uncomfort zone. So we're looking for certainty that we're going to get back to things again. And that's essentially what we're looking for you to do. So how are you leading your team right now? If you're going out and getting help from outside, like we as a business, the Joinery Coach, we've got all kinds of people that are contacting us right now from all parts of the world, looking for leadership, looking for help, looking for some guidance. And that's okay. I think that if your team knows that you're going outside of your capabilities or outside of your skill zone and getting help to come into the business, that is perfectly okay. That will probably provide them with some more certainty to know that the business is going to get through it. So how are you leading your team right now? Are you involved in any of this fake news, any of this social media high hype that's going on out there right now? Are you involved in that? Do you have negative conversations every day? Like, I heard this guy said that, and I heard this about this. Those types of negative conversations have a really um, negative effect, if lack of a better word, on how your team is going to feel. And if you get involved in all the hype and the hysteria, that's not going to be leading your team and helping in any way. So it doesn't serve them to get involved in those negative conversations or anything like that. What actually helps is to just control what you have control over and be in control of those things. Don't focus on the things that you don't have any control over, because your team doesn't need any of that instability right now. There's already enough instability and uncertainty out in the world. They don't need any more of that. What they need now is some certainty. I often use this example of the Jenga, the game, pulling the blocks out. They don't need any more blocks pulled out. They need blocks put in. So playing Jenga or creating more uncertainty right now by getting involved in negative social media posts and all that fake news sort of stuff is really not what they need right now. Your team needs to feel connected. They need to feel like they're actually connected to something that's going to get them through this, that's going to get them through to the other side, because their family is important to them. Their kids are important to them. Putting food on the table, paying for the rent and the mortgage and all that stuff, that's what's so important in their world right now. So they want to be connected to something that is going to help them solve that problem. They don't need you to know everything. They know that you're not going to know everything, but they need you to just be connected to them. They need you to be present. They need you to be real. Your real problems that you're finding. You might have some mental health issues yourself right now. I mean, being in isolation and lacking social connection is a problem for everybody. Nobody is immune to the problems that creates. So be real with your team. Be proactive and be positive. It's easy to say this. I know it's easy to just talk about saying those things. But what we're saying is you've got to do them. You've got to be proactive. If someone in your team is experiencing something unusual, be proactive in asking them, are you okay? Is it something we can do? Let's talk about it. And being positive is just one of those things that helps everyone. Because we don't need you to be the leader of the world. We don't need you to solve all the problems. We just need you to be the leader in their world. That's actually all we need you to do. And that's all they need you to do, is to just be the leader in their world. Because the level of that leadership is the ceiling that they're going to hit. And if you are not leading well, and if you are struggling at this period of time, that is going to adversely affect your business and your team. And that ultimately is going to not only hurt them, but it's going to hurt your business. And I'm willing to bet that if you're a business owner right now listening to this podcast, you've probably put many years of sweat and equity and time and effort into this business. And you didn't come this far just to come this far. I'm willing to bet that if you're like most people that I deal with, you've got dreams and aspirations that you haven't achieved yet. So we need your team to help you get through this. And to do that, you need to be the leader that they need right now. So now's your time. Now is your time to step up. And if you need some help with this, please reach out. We are here for people, whether it's just a conversation and we can have a 15-minute chat, whether it's, doesn't matter what it is. We are here to help. There are many people out there that can help. Reach out and get the help you need, because your team and the strength and the future of your business may depend on it. You being the leader right now that your team needs is exactly the key to getting through this crisis. Being the leader that they want and need is what they need right now, so that they can step up and solve the problems for you, rather than you feeling like you've got to solve all the problems. So please reach out, have a chat with us if you need, or have a chat with someone if you need. Join our free Facebook group, the Joinery Business Hub. It's a free group, and get the help you need. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Hopefully it's been some help to you. And if you need more information, please reach out. We'd be more than happy to help. Bruce from the Joinery Coach. Peace out.